because I used to use WordPerfect all the time in some of my jobs. Hey everyone, Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. Thanks for stopping by. This is another update video. Before I get started, I did want to mention that it's been a while since I made a video, and the reason for that, I've been busy getting a third antique booth location started up. We're now at West End Antiques in Knoxville. That's on Kingston Pike. If you are ever in Knoxville, it's not too far off the interstate past Westtown Mall between IHOP and Olive Garden. So if you're in the area, make sure you stop by and visit us. And then we're still at Bearden Antique Mall, which is about 2 miles down the road off Kingston Pike in Homburg Place in Knoxville. And then we're also at Granny's Attic in historic downtown Clinton, Tennessee, which is about 30 minutes north of Knoxville. And if you are in the Knoxville area, the first weekend in May, you need to stop by Clinton. It's the Spring Antique Festival, and they'll close down all the streets. There'll be street vendors, there'll be food trucks. All the stores in Clinton will be having sales, so there's a lot going on. So if you're in the area, it's a great time to stop by, pick up some really great deals on antiques and vintage items, and eat some good food. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with what we've sold recently. The first online item is this Washington Forge steak knife set in the original box, which you can see here. And I picked this up at a thrift shop for, I believe, $2 and sold it for $20 plus the buyer paid shipping. Next is this Corel WordPerfect 8 Suite, which actually brought back a lot of memories because I used to use WordPerfect all the time in some of my jobs. And this was picked up at a thrift shop for $1 and sold for $22. It did go free shipping, medium mail. The third item is this Fontanini Santa Claus figurine with Santa Claus kneeling in front of the baby Jesus. And I picked this up at a thrift shop for just a couple of dollars and sold this on Etsy for $22. This was free shipping and it went first class. Another Etsy sale we had were these vintage ZS and Company salad plates, and each one had a different game bird. There were a couple of pheasants and a duck, and this sold for $24. This was picked up at an auction as part of a box lot, so cost of goods sold, and it's probably only a couple of dollars, and it sold for $24 plus the buyer paid shipping. I thought these were really neat. We have a lot of our house decorated with pheasants, so I really like these, and there was some temptation to keep them, but in the end ended up selling them, and I'm sure whoever got them really enjoyed them. Moving back over to eBay, next is this 2001 Broadway Cure Snow Globe, which was made after 9/11 by the different Broadway musicals, and this features a lot of them like Seussical, Rent, The Lion King. I picked this up at a thrift shop for a couple of dollars, sold it for $32 plus the buyer paid shipping, and this played Let It Snow. And then the last item I had, this is the 1982 Heisman Trophy Award program, and it had 9 autographs, including Herschel Walker's, which you see here. And then it also had Eddie Robinson, who was a coach at Grambling. I don't remember all these names now. This was somebody who was the head of the Presidential Fitness Council. Casey somebody, but I can't remember his last name. It had Kyle Rote, who was a professional player. And I think I remember his son when I was young, who was a soccer player. You had Irv Cross from CBS Sports right there. Then Vince Dooley, who was the coach of Georgia at the time. Chuck Fairbanks, who was the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, at least at one time. I think he may have also coached the Rams. Johnny, I believe it's Lujack. He was a Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame. Then Roger Staubach. I think everybody knows he was the quarterback for the Cowboys, also played at Navy. And I believe that is all of them. I sold this on an auction and it sold for $40. It only got one bid. I actually listed this a couple of times. I thought this would be more popular than it was, but I was happy with $40. This was part of a whole sports media lot that I bought at an online auction. And just this item more than paid for everything I bought. All right, I got a phone call. I tried to edit it out, but anyway, so back to this. I think I was saying that I was hoping it would sell for a little more, but in the end, I was happy with $40, and the buyer did pay shipping on this. We'll start with three booth sales. In the first one, and it's a little hard to see, but it's this easel that this picture is sitting on. And that picture happens to be of the Mabry Hazen House, which is a historic house in Knoxville. But it's this antique Frederick Post easel made in Chicago. We got that as part of the really huge house clean out that we did in Oliver Springs. I've mentioned it in previous videos. This is one of the few bigger items that we still have left. That had been in the booth for a while and probably hadn't sold because we always have a picture on it, so it's a little hard to see. But it did eventually sell, and it sold for $125. The next item we have is something we sold at Granny's Attic in Clinton, and it's this hot rod picture by James Owen, Hot Rod Art, and it was Hush Hush. And this was a thrift store pickup, and we sold this for $40. And it took a little while to sell. One reason I think art takes a little longer to sell in Clinton than it does at Bearden is a lot of times we have to put it on the floor like we did this one. So, you don't notice it as much as you would if it was hanging on the wall. But we don't have a lot of wall space in Clinton. So when we do take art, sometimes we do have to put it there. But it did eventually sell. I think it only took maybe about a month and a half. And finally, this is another Granny's Attic sale, and it's another piece of art, which is unusual to sell two pieces of art in 1 week there, because most of our art sold at Bearden and now at West End. But I really thought this was a neat picture. Let me zoom in a little bit. Might get a little blurry here, but it's this. I just called it a creepy kid picture because I had no idea, what it was, but it looked kind of like an adult looking head on a kid's body. Something weird, and weird stuff sells a lot of times. So this was another thrift shop pickup, and then sold this for $40.